I'll figure it out.
And welcome to the We Like Sportz Show. I'm Peyton Vince, alongside with CJ, and it's just CJ today. It's not even CJ in Cleveland. And we're waiting for Ed in Columbus. Of course, on a day like this, we will have technical difficulties. But in the meantime, stay tuned. I got to share this to social media and get my my voice back. God, that sounded great, didn't it?
Terrible,
but CJ wants to talk to you guys about the Puppy Bowl really quick. So
I didn't watch the Puppy Bowl. It's not the best.
I thought you said Duke was.
No, he's too long.
All right. Well, you end up talking about the big game or the Puppy Bowl. I'll be right back.
All right. I got much. He's not gonna like this, but I'm just gonna talk about whatever. Cavs down 6 or 4 at the half. Philly outgunned, no boy. This is the way it goes. You lay a couple bets. It's back.
Am I here?
Yeah. Sure.
Hey,
what is up? There we go. You are here.
And welcome to the We Like Sportz Show. I know I'm a minute and 36 seconds late, but I'm here, and we're gonna have a great show tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me do this. I'm a man, a creature of habit here, so I'm gonna have to fix this here. Sorry.
All right. Well, Ed waits. So we look at some of those causes of World War I.
There you go.
Imperialism, militarism, alliances are the big one. Historians have long debated on what. Are you ready?
All quiet on the Western Front now. I think we're ready to roll with the show. CJ. All right. Okay. So let's do this. Okay. I know I'm a little thrown off my game right now, but there was a big game yesterday. Obviously, we had a winner in the Kansas City Chiefs. What are your initial thoughts about the game yesterday? Because obviously that's what everybody talking about.
I kind of sat back and digested it. I'm sure we're going to all three of us talk about the game. So I think my one big takeaway is I feel like Kyle Shanahan is Andy Reid before Kansas City. And the fact Andy Reid just could never get over that hump. And I don't know. It's one of those feelings, and I've talked about it all this postseason. I've been an adamant guy about how good Mahomes is, and I thought the Chiefs were going to win the Super Bowl and all this stuff. But it's just, push comes to shove. I go back to we just knew. You knew Patrick was coming. As the game went on.
I have a question for you because it's been going around, and I kind of feel that way. Is the NFL, is it scripted?
I don't know if it's scripted.
Do you kind of look when they kept showing Tay and the 49ers kicked the field goal? Did you kind of think, okay, now Patrick is going to go down there and get a touchdown?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: when we talk about him going and getting that touchdown, I'm sorry, I just want to shut my door. My dog's been in and out. We talk about him go. I guess that's where I was going to go with overtime. You win the toss. Why do you receive that kick? Because now you're going to give Mahomes 4 downs every time because he's got to go get points.
Yes.
And you're just giving him more opportunities. And
but here's my thinking, and I think a lot of people are saying that San Francisco defense was gassed after giving up that long play, that long drive at the end. So maybe by getting the ball first, it was really saving their defense.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think that's a terrible plan. Listen, I don't want to hear that, man. You're in the Super Bowl. Find some more energy,
Yeah.
You're going to get a long commercial break, got kickoff, got the coin toss, all that stuff.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you know what, CJ?
That was one. And I know we kind of talked about the Lions. I don't know. I just feel like the Niners lost that game. And part of it, Mahomes and Chiefs, they did step up and go get it. I just feel like the Niners lost that one.
I think you're right because they had outplayed them, I believe, in the first quarter, even the second quarter. And it's just but they only had a 7-point lead at halftime. And it's you did all that, and you let them hang around. And
it felt like more than 7 at times, but then once half it felt like so much less than we should be up, they should be up way more than 7 right now.
Yeah. How'd you think Brock Purdy played?
Played good.
Yeah,
but he's just, I think you see the limitations on him. I think he's trying to rephrase it. I'm not saying we're gonna look at him and be like, oh, that's Rex Grossman. Rex Grossman played the Super Bowl. But I don't think we're ever gonna look at him like he's any of these other guys. Yeah. I think he's got. I'm trying to think of a good analogy of how to describe him. I do feel like he's a system guy, but he's a really good system guy.
Yeah. He reminds me of. He reminds me of. I know this is stupid because why would you say this if it's not really the guy that you're talking about? But he's Drew Brees without Drew Brees' arm.
I don't think
talking
he's
about
Drew
Purdy.
Brees.
Yeah. He makes the right throws. He makes the right reads. He just doesn't have the arm talent, I believe, to get away with some of the throws that like a Mahomes or Josh Allen or even a Drew Brees.
He's not elite at anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he's solid.
I think your favorite broadcaster, CJ, said it best after the game. And, I mean, it's what I think you're going to be hearing a quote for the next years to come, because they said after that game, Brock Purdy, you are not a game manager. You are a game executive. And, I mean, if you look at statistics, it's hard to argue with statistics. He's a top 5 quarterback. He kept the San Francisco 49ers around.
Quarterback.
If you look at the stats, it says otherwise.
No.
Pull him up, CJ.
He's got inflated numbers. He's not a top 5 quarterback. And this year, I feel like it's easier to see. Yeah, his numbers can be better. He's one of the few that played all the games. I can name 5 quarterbacks right now that I'd rather have than him.
Well, that may be true, but at the same time, he's perfect for that system. And let's be real.
But I think a lot of guys are good in that system.
They didn't lose because of Brock Purdy. They lost because I believe at times, with some of their calls, they got away from running the football. Let's look at the third quarter when they
could have had these same conversations about Jimmy G a few years ago.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same kind of they got away from running the ball. The defense let them down. They're up 10 in the fourth. And Jimmy played I think he's closer to Jimmy than he is to, any of the elite quarterbacks.
That's fair. Now, but Jimmy's the same way. Like I think he's a game executive, game manager, whatever you want to call it. And I think you're absolutely right about that
he's a game manager, but I don't mean that as a knock. He's just never
right.
He's not gonna lose you games, but I just don't think he's gonna win you big ones like that.
Okay. Do you think the 49ers need to move on from him eventually or just stick with it and hope?
No, I don't. I think, I don't know. Maybe just went to the Super Bowl. Who would you rather have? Tua put up good numbers. Would you rather have him or Tua?
I would rather have Brock Purdy.
Than Tua?
Yeah. Some of the throws that Tua makes.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like he's in that conversation again.
What Dak or Brock?
I'd rather have Dak.
So would I.
I like Dak. You know how I feel about Dak.
Yeah, no.
I don't think he's
Mitchell Trubisky or Brock Purdy.
Brock.
Do you think Trubisky could be okay for the 49ers?
I think he can be a serviceable backup.
Yeah.
I think Darnold would be okay. I mean, I don't know. They have so many weapons. They do such a good job scheming guys open and stuff. And I don't want to think you can put anybody in there because we saw, C.J. Beathard there and Nick Mullins, and they look like shit. But I just think he's closer. Who would you rather have, Kirk Cousins or Brock Purdy? I'm talking 1 year next year.
Well,
I don't think long term. Cousins is older.
If Kirk didn't get injured, then I would have said Kirko.
Then you say Kirk, right? Yeah, I just I don't know. There's nothing wrong with being Kirk Cousins.
It just depends on what side you're on.
Did you guys see him at the NFL awards show? That thing that he did, that little breakdown, that dance that he did. No, Kirk Cousins is cool now, guys. I don't know if you've heard, but Kirk Cousins
is cool. He likes Creed.
He's been cool since he screamed "You like that" in the locker room in Washington. That's what I'm saying.
I think it took him some time in Minnesota to get cool.
No,
I
don't know.
I think I'm not I said, I don't think he's like a Rex Grossman or a Case Keenum. I don't think he's a one-off. But I don't know. Is he and this is a bad analogy because they're very different guys. But I think he's like a Jay Cutler. He's going to win you games. He's going to get to the playoffs. But I don't think we're going to see Brock Purdy back in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah, Peyton, what do you think about this?
I think we might see the Niners. I don't know. I don't think he's I feel good, right? I could say, you'll see Patrick Mahomes back in the Super Bowl. Right? You could picture that. We just kick Peyton.
Yeah.
No, I'm here. Don't worry. He didn't mute me like you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think, Peyton? What do you think, Peyton? Because CJ doesn't know. CJ, you don't know. Peyton, do you know? Do you know?
I mean, honestly,
I'm just thinking out loud.
Okay.
And I'm thinking out loud too. Don't get me wrong. I think Purdy is going to end up I kind of want to end up. There's a part of me that wants to end up siding with CJ because it's the NFL. You never really know how long a quarterback's career, let alone an NFL player's career, is going to last. So I mean, Purdy, he already had one elbow injury. If it happens again, his career could be over with. Unfortunately, that's just the way football and sports works sometimes. And I mean, an elbow injury, Tommy John surgery, you never know what could end up happening. And
I got a name.
But at the end of the day, though, for Purdy, if he ends up being hurt, though, his career already peaked. He was Mr. Irrelevant. He never thought he was going to make it.
His career ain't going to peak till. Well, and that's the other thing, right? What happens when they got to pay him eventually?
I mean, I think they pay him.
Yeah.
And he's going to probably end up taking somewhat of a discount just because he's Brock Purdy. He's Mr. Irrelevant. He deserves money, but it's a Cinderella story at the end of the day. I mean, he didn't think he was going to make it this far. He went to Iowa State.
Yeah.
You never ended up thinking you were going to make it that far. But I think Brock Purdy's legit, honestly.
And who'd you rather, Brock Purdy or Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
That's a dumb question, I think.
Who'd you rather have? Ed Farley.
Are you going by ability or who's younger?
No, I'm saying, like, if you
younger.
And I know that Brock Purdy's younger, but I'm saying, like, who'd you rather have play quarterback?
And longevity, I'd take Purdy. But if you're going off of ability, I'd take Goff. But Goff was probably in the same situation. Look at the trade between the Rams with Stafford and Detroit.
Another thing I got to say about that is with Goff, I felt like he got a bum rap a little bit with the Rams.
I do, but I'm saying, like, right,
you look at the numbers he's put up. That he's kind of comparable to what Stafford
Goff was. And like if you had to rank Goff, where would you put Purdy if you had to rank Purdy?
I'd say top 10
quarterback. If he's a top 10 quarterback, that means Goff's a top 10 quarterback. Like right now,
we're saying that he's not.
I say they're both top 12. I'll say top 12, both of them. That gives me wiggle room, a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you also have guys like Joe Burrow that was hurt this whole entire year. That
do you think he's 10?
About.
Do you think he's 10? Purdy, if you were to put him, like, where are you putting him? I'm asking. I'm not trying to like start shit.
It sounds like that. You are kind of.
It sounds like CJ.
Well, I'm just thinking out loud because, like, you got Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Burrow.
Now, here's a question. Now, I want to say this, because Herbert. Okay, everybody talks about Brock Purdy is a system quarterback. Yeah, he's a system quarterback. But isn't Herbert one of those guys where he's just a stat guy and it's like a system of just throwing, but it doesn't win. It doesn't win.
I think he is a
quarterback too.
I think he's good, but I do think his numbers are overinflated because they don't really run the ball or anything. But I'd still rather have Herbert. Lamar, that's 5. I'm just thinking. I'm trying to like run through divisions.
Yeah. What about Jordan Love? Well, how about Jordan Love over?
I think I'd rather.
Jordan Love might be top 15.
Yeah.
What would you rather have? Jordan Love, Brock Purdy?
I think going forward, probably Love. I think he's got that bigger upside.
Yeah.
He's got the bigger upside.
Purdy has the highest.
Is what he is.
A lot of guys have a lot of guys, I think, have a higher ceiling than Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy has a very high floor.
Yeah, and a good team. Let's be real. Brock Purdy's got a kick-ass team, and that's why.
Yeah, and I'm not going to hold the team against him. But there was no like play in this. Like I can look back to yesterday and be like,
yeah,
oh yeah, that was a fucking sick play.
If he would have made that would have made the difference. I agree with you. Yeah.
I mean, in reality, if we're talking about Purdy and the 49ers, guarantee you at the end of the day, and it's unfortunate because CJ probably is somewhat right. Purdy is probably the most emotional guy on the field because that might have been his only chance at getting a ring. You never know. Like I said, football's a really weird sport. Sports are really weird. I mean, injuries happen. It could end up ruining.
Didn't you say 2 weeks ago that like the Lions should feel good about not winning? Then we kind of had this discussion. In the
great debate wages on tonight, and I believe that.
Ed's favorite segment, of course.
Yeah, it's the hottest new segment in all the sports.
Even though it's like every show in the world.
We need Keith here because we need that Super Bowl. Oh, the big game, the super ad. The ad with Keith Allen running independent for the great debate.
2,
well, he is an independent. We love Keith. And
4, 5.
Where is Keith? Keith, where you at? Come on.
Might be is there a Cleveland State Vikings game tonight? I know there's a Cavs game on.
Check it out. Yeah. Cleveland State might be local.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground for him. He's preparing for Wednesday against Milwaukee. That's why.
Okay.
Man, there's some bad quarterbacks out here. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm just looking at a list of quarterbacks. All right, guys. Hurts or Purdy? These are like my question marks. Hurts or Purdy?
I say Purdy.
Are you taking away the tush push? If so, I'm taking Purdy.
I think Purdy's better than Hurts. But
So
Hurts just, you know what I mean? Hurts went to a Super Bowl. Baker or Purdy?
Purdy. Baker's too inconsistent still. He's too inconsistent.
Trevor Lawrence or Brock Purdy?
Purdy over Lawrence?
Yeah, I'm a Buckeye.
How much of like a Trevor Lawrence in your head is just like based off of who he was his freshman year in college? Because like in my head, he's so much better than he actually is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it feels weird.
And that playoff run is also why he's more relevant too.
Fields or Purdy?
Purdy. If the Steelers end up trading for Fields,
how good would the Niners be if they had Fields, do you think?
I think they're a similar quarterback. Like Purdy isn't a scrambling quarterback by any means, but I feel like he could get it done similar to how Justin Fields has. He doesn't scramble.
All right, this was the last one.
Breaking news on Justin Fields, though. There's hot rumors. The Atlanta Falcons are hot on Justin Fields. That's what I'm hearing.
That makes sense.
Desmond Ridder or Brock Purdy?
No, Desmond. No, not that. Kyler.
Oh, Purdy's
Really?
too busy.
Kyler
He's not
played
focused.
really good when he came back, though. Kyler played awesome when he came back.
When was the video games coming out there? Where was
they were already.
The new Call of Duty or something. Deshaun Watson or Purdy?
I'm not going to answer
back
that one. I'm going to let you guys
yards.
I'd take Purdy right now. I got to see Deshaun do something first.
I think I'd rather have Kyler.
Okay. Kyler did beat the Steelers this year.
Yeah.
He threw for 2,000 yards, man. Kyler to Miami. I think Kyler to Miami.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know why.
Tua.
Huh?
What happens to Tua?
I
think they move on from Tua.
Swims with the fishes, not the mammal fish, but the real fishes.
I think they need to be done with Tua.
Yeah.
It's over.
I'm with CJ. It's over.
Right now, Caleb Williams or Brock Purdy?
Caleb Williams.
Everyone's quick with that.
No, hold on. Here's a question. I want to end up asking this question. So everybody ended up making fun of Caleb Williams for crying and being passionate when it came to USC.
No. They made fun of Caleb Williams for crying because he did talk shit when Max Duggan cried.
But
that's why people made fun of him crying.
We're talking about the Super Bowl, though, and we're talking about Travis Kelce, and everybody's up in arms because he pushed Andy Reid, and it's such a bad thing to do. If we've all played sports before, passion is one hell of a thing when it comes to sports. I'm not saying what he did.
People are angry about it because people just look for shit to be angry about and cry.
And if he wasn't dating Taylor Swift, nobody's saying a word.
Yeah.
But with Caleb Williams or Travis Kelce, if you have to be on the same side.
Drake May or Brock Purdy. Let's go real deep in our bag here.
I'm going.
I'm scarred because of Mitch. I'm scarred because of Mitchell Trubisky.
Dude, Drake
North
May
Carolina.
reminds me of I don't want to say he's going to be Josh Allen, but coming out of college, he reminds me a more finished version of Josh Allen.
Only because he went to Carolina, and I think of Mitchell Trubisky, and it scares me.
I can see that.
CJ gets all hot and bothered when it comes
to
every North Carolina product.
Bothered about Mitch Trubisky. The thing is that people want to act like Mahomes is a perfect example. People talked about it going into yesterday. Oh yeah, Trubisky taking point. He was Mahomes on every board was the third quarterback. That would be to say to look back at the Brady dream. Maybe Brady should have won one. He was not one on any boards. There were some boards I looked at when we argued about Trubisky coming out. That had, Mahomes is a second-round pick.
Well, I know. Wow, I can't believe it's 8:24 already. What I want to do, obviously, is get into some things, and I want to ask you guys a question because I want to start the hottest segment now because I think we got the gift of gab going on right now. Do you? I'm going to give this to CJ. Do you want to go against me this week, or do you want to go against Peyton?
I don't want to go against either one of you. I think you should debate for me.
Ooh,
I'm the only one that's never got off here.
Yeah, but people paid it. People want to hear CJ just.
Yeah, but I just feel like it's rigged against me.
How many debates
if Keith was here?
I have three. I have three pretty good ones, I think.
Does that include the one that I texted?
Yes, it does.
So let's do two of them, you and I, and one of them, CJ and I.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, hold up. I got a comment from Pooh himself. He wants to hear CJ.
Yeah, everybody does.
I don't know, but I want to hear. I'm so sick of Ed. Ed's rigged this shit.
Shut
Plus
up.
the 6-man tag is like
Well, you know what, CJ? Just
in 2024 and beyond. Don't forget to tune in to
so we're gonna have the great debate. Oh yeah,
the We Like Sportz Show presents to you the Great Debate.
Doesn't Giovanni Vinci look like Dax Hardwood? Are you watching wrestling right now?
I gotta. Yeah, was Raw's on?
I haven't.
He looks like Dax Hardwood. Giovanni Vinci. I thought it was Dax Hardwood at first. Well, they just gave him the shittiest 3D in the world. Sorry.
No, you're not
well,
sorry.
Because Cody Rhodes, just like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, last night he has to finish the story.
I love how you recorded that thing. I've been saying that they're gonna fucking win the Super Bowl for like a month and a half now because Taylor Swift and him were gonna be under the confetti and it's just gonna be a beautiful sight. Hey, that's just such a little. You're just a turd for that.
Well,
you know what? Yeah. Sometimes the platform's just a little bit better, brother.
Yeah.
Peyton? Who was your buddy that I'm gonna go ahead and who was your buddy at work that posed this debate question?
Oh, this was actually Jason from work.
Jason, shout out.
Not Brandon from work. It's a change up.
Okay, shout out. And
what's the question? It's a dumb one.
And I will take this one against CJ. You tell us what position we're taking, Peyton. But the question is, and it's a great question: should the San Francisco 49ers fire Kyle Shanahan because they have now lost to the Kansas City Chiefs?
Dumbest fucking question in the world.
The Super Bowl.
CJ, you go first.
What position?
This is the dumbest question. No, they shouldn't fire Kyle Shanahan. Are you kidding me? First of all, who are they going to get that's better than Kyle Shanahan? I mean, come on. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Wait, sorry, I'm watching the Jameson celebration.
It's got to take points away.
Hold on. You got a minute and a half still.
Oh, go ahead. Take that out. I'm like, I don't need a minute and a half. We're going to fire Kyle Shanahan. I just want to say that loud. We're going to fire Kyle Shanahan because he lost to a Super Bowl and he's been to 2 Super Bowls. He just took a freaking pumpkin and Brock Purdy and an out-of-work porn star and Jimmy G and it took him to 2 Super Bowls. We're going to fire him because he can't beat Andy Reid and second-best quarterback all the time. We're going to fire Kyle Shanahan and get who?
Well, you're not going to.
Maybe they should fire Steve Wilkes. Maybe they should look in upgrading off Mr. Relevant then if they're having these discussions. But by no means should that team fire Kyle. That offense is electric. They find talent like there's no tomorrow. He gets the best out of everybody they get. Why? God's great. I mean, they go to the playoffs every year. Why would the NFC Championship last year? I mean, why would we fire Kyle Shanahan? This time. Flabbergasted. Right. I need Riggs in here to give me some big words to be my thesaurus.
Oh, not Riggs. That's Stephen R.
Yeah, whatever. I need Riggs. Because I am flabbergasted by these dumb questions. Only Peyton can find these questions.
Okay. So is it officially my turn or CJ?
Go ahead,
you tapped out, so it's over for him.
Okay, well, since I have to take the position of firing Kyle Shanahan for losing twice to the Kansas City Chiefs, maybe I don't technically agree with it, but I'm going to show my order skills.
Oh, Matt's question. Thank you.
I'm going to show what it's like to be a professional and to debate something, whether or not I agree with it, CJ. Does my minute and a half start now?
Yeah, let it start. I'm going to be quiet and mumble about how stupid this is.
When does my time start? Because I don't feel like he's done yet.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
It starts in now. Minute and a half.
The San Francisco 49ers should indeed fire Kyle Shanahan for his 2 losses to the same team, the Kansas City Chiefs, in the Super Bowl. And here's why. In college football, Ohio State has Ryan Day. Can't beat Michigan. John Cooper couldn't beat Michigan. They kept him too long, and he never could beat Michigan. And they didn't win a national title. Did not win one. As a Buckeye, that hurts. And Kyle Shanahan will continue to go to the NFC Championship game, continue to go to Super Bowls. But if he can't beat the greatest of all time, maybe Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. What are we doing? What are we playing for? Second place? That's not what they won in the Bay. Teams like Joe Montana and Steve Young, they won Super Bowls. They won championships. And this Kyle Shanahan, second place guy, considering now this is his third Super Bowl, one as offensive coordinator, now two as head coach, where he's blown a double-digit lead against Tom Brady and now the new Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. So, yes, you have to fire him before this gets huge. This is out of control. Get this son of a bitch off the field right now, as somebody would say in the political arena.
And time. And also look at Brandon Andrews' comment. Brandon from work.
Yes, he's Brandon, my guy. Thank you.
And it looks like, by the looks of it, I'm going to have to unmute CJ now. Welcome back. Maybe I don't have that ability. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'd get ready to unmute him because he's not going to like who I think won this debate at all.
I'm trying to unmute him, and I can't. I don't know what he's doing.
Maybe he muted himself.
He's mad. He's mad, obviously. He knows he lost, and he's mad.
CJ, are you here? Can you hear us?
He's mad. He's pouting. He's pouting.
Can you talk? Are your headphones plugged in? He's going to end up unmuting it right here in about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Ed?
Yes.
We're the same time.
See?
What's going on?
He doesn't even know how to use it.
My
He doesn't
Siri's
know how to
going
use
off.
technology.
I don't know, Siri. Go away. My Siri's going. Okay.
So anybody listening at home, sorry for saying the magical word Siri and your phone going off to begin with.
Oh.
But CJ,
we're the same type of guy that wanted to fire Jim Harbaugh. Is out here like, oh, he can't beat Michigan. We need to fire Jim Harbaugh.
It's not time for rebuttals, are there? Is that what we're doing?
I thought he.
I'm gonna look at my watch again.
He already decided anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's over before it started. It's a shame.
CJ, I'm gonna end up surprising a lot of people in the great debate world. And this is not usually how politics work, but it's worth a shot now. And if there's any way to change in 2024,
Bobby Lashley,
it's now. And CJ, my friend, you lost.
Yeah, of course I lost.
And it's because you were being disrespectful. You
were
watching
disrespectful.
You were watching wrestling.
I'm not watching wrestling.
You mocked Ed.
He did twice.
And you mocked the moderator.
At no point did I mock Ed.
Well, that's fair.
I was muted. You couldn't hear me mock Ed.
You literally were throwing your hands up, making goofy faces.
Throw up Ed
there was
signs.
a bug.
He was throwing up Ed signs.
I was shooing him away. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Fire Kyle Shanahan. This is so stupid. This is the dumbest thing we do.
But
I want to say this. We appreciate feedback from anybody that wants to give it to us. We appreciate your people at your work.
Question.
We appreciate Brandon. We appreciate Jason. Anybody that wants to help the show, CJ, we're going to support that in 2024.
I do not support it. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Fire Kyle Shanahan. Every coach should be fired for playing for second place.
It's a debate question. Look,
I didn't terrible question.
He's just mad because he's lost his touch as a master debater.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
They make pills for that, I think.
AD, right? Throw it up.
Where's Keith?
There you go.
I need Keith back. I'm so sick of this shit.
Well, now that I participated in that great one, and thanks for throwing
that
out.
It'll be fine because I hate you both. So
yeah, thank you. Well, now we're gonna go to this one. We're gonna make this very simple because obviously CJ's been struggling recently. So I'll keep.
I'm moderating. I'm not.
You're gonna participate.
No.
Your brother even said, "I want to hear him." So I think we're gonna have to
he heard me, and it's rigged. And
or CJ, your question, you can take it. I'll be nice to you and give it to you with like a softball, because you can't hit the hard fastballs, obviously the high fastballs.
No, that's me.
Oh, okay, fair enough. The Super Bowl is overrated. You can say yes or you can say no, CJ, and you have a minute and a half.
I don't even want to answer. These questions are so terrible today.
They're debate questions.
You know what? I do think it's a little overrated.
Okay, I love that. Good. Yeah.
I do. There's games that I would so much rather watch. My team's never in it. I think championship games as a whole are overrated. I don't need to watch them. Right? Well, my team's not. I'm rooting for nobody last night. Granted, at the end I was standing, but the halftime show stunk. I wanted Usher to sing, and he was just rollerblading around and dancing. And it wasn't until Ludacris came out that I felt good. I don't know. The commercials weren't that good this year. What it sounded like, I had to listen to Tony Romo with Jim Nantz, and they scored a winning touchdown. Tony Romo will come blabbering. I just, I feel like the Super Bowl has lost its touch a little bit. You're going to give me dollars to donuts. I'm watching midweek action, I think, before I watch the Super Bowl. I'm watching the SEC on CBS. I'm watching a late night kickoff of Ohio State and Penn State and Happy Valley under the lights. I'm watching Ohio State, Michigan. A lot of games I'd rather
You're
watch.
missing one key game that Keith boots on the ground right now.
Yeah, I'd rather watch a Cleveland State Vikings
buddy.
Valparaiso game. Like, I don't know. I go back to World Series lost its touch to me. As you get older and your teams aren't in there, the fuck, I'm supposed to just watch two teams I don't really care about.
Are you completely? I won't say this.
I'm done. I'll mute myself. I'll mute myself again.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right.
Yeah. You can mute me. That way you can unmute me.
Before you begin, I want to say this. He kind of came out of his shell. He hit on some topics in my head that I was actually thinking of. Well thought out, CJ. I don't know if it's going to get you the win, but you know what? You showed up on that one, brother. You're pouting right now, but you showed up on that one.
I got breaking news.
Yes.
We might be getting some news about EA Sports College Football on February 15th.
Oh.
Might be getting some news finally.
Okay, thank you. A minute and a half, Peyton. Your question is, the Super Bowl is overrated. You're going to say, no, it is not.
It is not overrated, and here's why. You realize CJ, it doesn't matter if your team's in it or not. I mean, not everybody has the luxury of being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan where your Super Bowl team is in it a couple times and wins it as well. I mean, CJ, you're what, 28, 29? I mean, you've never seen it happen before. It's rare. I understand that. It's okay. We were both in the same situation, though, last night as well, when I was standing up as well during the fourth quarter and overtime because I'm a passionate sports fan.
I saw one Super Bowl 20 years ago, and he's going to talk like his team.
Again, he's interrupting me, Ed. What is up with
you? Might have to.
Oh, I thought I was muted. My bad.
Yeah, no shit. I did too.
He got that one
now?
in there.
Am I allowed?
You are allowed extra time, 20 seconds extra time.
All right, thank you. Anyways, the Steelers are in it. I mean, I was wearing my Pittsburgh Steelers jersey last night. Shout out TJ Watt. I was watching that game standing up in my living room.
Like, oh, I can't believe they didn't give it to me.
10 extra seconds.
They should have given me the Super Bowl.
CJ, he's killing himself with his answer. CJ.
Just like they gave Myles Garrett the Defensive Player of the Year. Well,
CJ doesn't understand he's actually going to win this if you keep mentioning the Steelers. Let him hang himself at the rope here, CJ.
Hold on, though. Let me get through it. Mute him, kick him, whatever. I don't care.
Okay.
At the end of the day, though, I'm standing up as a football fan that, honestly, World Series, NBA championship, I'm not standing in my living room often. I had no dog in that fight last night whatsoever, but I saw great football for the first time in I don't even know how long. CJ mentioned 20 years. It's probably the last time we saw a great Super Bowl in general, just because it was competitive. I mean, 25-22, it goes into overtime. There's brand new overtime rules. It's all new format. And I mean, 49ers are saying they didn't know the rules. That's why they lost. But overall, it was a great game to see. And if you talk about it just alone from a game standpoint, fantastic. The Super Bowl every year. The revenue that the Super Bowl makes, I'm a business guy. I like money. Everybody should like money at the end of the day, right? The amount of money made if the Cleveland Browns or Cleveland as a whole get to host the Super Bowl, you're telling me you don't want that? They're going to get billions of dollars in. They're going to end up having $1 million tickets to watch a Super Bowl. I don't give a shit if it's February and 20 degrees outside. People are still going to go and sell out. Maybe. Cleveland needs a dome for that more than likely.
Thank you.
But still, that's in fruition. It's a possibility. I mean, Jimmy Haslam's possibly buying ground across the street from Berea. You can't deny your city of being or hosting a Super Bowl. If you could get more money for your city, look what the 2019 All-Star Game did for Cleveland. Look at what the All-Star Game did for the Cavs. Everything is making Cleveland legit once again. Why would you say the Super Bowl is overrated? And the halftime show, it was good enough. If you were young enough to end up appreciating Usher, it was all people from a blast from a past. Just enjoy the show. No reason to criticize it. It was a good show. It was a good Super Bowl. No complaints whatsoever on any side for me. Time.
All right.
What's a second to go?
Yeah. Well, I kind of lost track of time, and maybe CJ has a point there. Look, I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give CJ the full point and give you a half point. Here's the thing: you were just convoluted Steeler crap in the beginning, and it took me a while. But you said if you would have just left that TJ Watt crap out,
I just had the jersey on. You know, at the end.
I don't know. Game, to me, the Super Bowl just lost its touch as I've gotten older.
Well, I think that
you were standing up watching the game in your living room as well.
But like that first half, I was ready to.
I don't think yesterday was great football, though. I think it was close. Yeah. The game was close, but it wasn't great football.
Yeah, like I think that's what made it feel good. Like I don't
Romo and Nance were horrible, and then that's because of Romo. The ads were mid. Usher, let's be real, his mic kept going in and out, and he was roller skating. It was kind of weird. Like I just think that yesterday, and I would say this before yesterday's Super Bowl. I would agree that yes, but yesterday's Super Bowl was kind of mid. Now the game was good because it was close and it went into overtime, and I get that. But it wasn't.
As the Super Bowl has like gone on in my life, I don't know. I feel like I don't.
The Deadpool ad was the best ad that they.
That was pretty cool. That was cool.
You have me invested. I'm all for it. I mean. The music performance, it is what it is. I mean, there's technical.
I like the songs. I like Usher, so I like Usher.
And Eddie,
I like Usher, but I thought he was
difficulties
dancing around out there
today too.
Hey, that's maybe it hit close to home. It hit close to home.
I think that's a half a point, and so that's a whole point for me there because I mean it's a relatable experience. You know what it's like.
You know, Peyton, you throw up an Ed sign right now, you got the full point.
Dude, I don't even know how to do anything. I could do a V. I could do my last name. That's about it.
Well, the Star Trek sign.
Well, you had your chance, Peyton. I'm going to give a full point to Peyton, half a point to you. You had your chance.
How do you do it? I've never done it.
You take your right, and you make like a west side, but you just turn it
this way and turn it which way?
Yeah.
This
what
way.
What is he doing? He's autistic. Sorry.
Put your thumb down. Yeah. There's your E, and then you just take this. There's your D.
Dude, I can't do it.
There it is. That's it. You got it. That's your head. That's it.
That's the first time he said that in his bedroom.
You know. All right. Well, we're gonna go. You know what we'll do? Because since I love to wait for suspense, anyways, I'm gonna give you guys the last one, and then we'll just see what happens. Okay. This one's good. This one's really good because you can mention other avenues, other venues, and other sports. The NBA All-Star Game festivities is this weekend. I love the NBA All-Star Game. I love the three-point contest. I like the slam dunk contest. Is that the best, though, of all of the All-Star weekends or whatever? So, I'm going to go CJ because I don't want to make a man. I want to make a man.
Whatever side
you want. If you realize if somebody else has to go first, I won't yell and have to do my thing.
No, you will.
I'll get it out while he's
You're very passive aggressive. You're very passive aggressive.
I'm not.
He is a baseball coach. I mean, it makes sense.
All right, Peyton, what do you want? You want NBA All-Star festivities are the best?
I know he's going to take the MLB is the best. I know he's going to do it. That's
absolutely not. I'm taking the NBA All-Star Game.
Okay, so go ahead, Peyton. A minute and a half starts now.
You want to know why? I forgot which year it was, but the year that Zach Levine and I think Aaron
Levine. Oh my God!
2016.
That was the best slam dunk contest of all time, and ever since then they set the bar pretty high. And I mean, each year they're competing. The 3-point contest. I mean, it's intriguing. You have good options. You have good 3-point shooters. I mean, recently you end up having a lot of high-scoring 3-point shooters. The skills competition, I mean, it's kind of indifferent on that front. I mean, obviously you want to show off your skills and you're on a time trial basis. But I mean, when you look at football, I mean, the Pro Bowl, who watched the Pro Bowl? CJ said he didn't. I mean, he said that the big game was the Pro Bowl, and I didn't watch it. The MLB, you have the Home Run Derby and you have the Celebrity All-Star Game. The only thing about the MLB All-Star Weekend, the Home Run Derby, people love it if you're a diehard baseball fan. The only thing that gets everybody's eyes is the celebrity base or softball game, and that's even pre-recorded. Spoiler alert, pre-recorded. It happened before. You want to see MGK hit a home run?
Is it really
cool.
Pre-recorded?
It is, yeah. It is, yeah.
Honestly, I think that's good enough for my argument. I'll take less than a minute and a half on that one. I'm a little cocky here.
All right, wow. CJ, you have to say the NBA All-Star Game festivities are the best. Or no, or not the best, I should say. My bad.
Correct.
Yeah, right. I'm paying attention.
They're not the best, right?
Right.
Damn it. Can I figure out how to do this?
Should have went first. I gave you the option.
Yeah. Let me just show you some of this ad. Is my screen sharing?
The Korean Bunt Derby in this extra mustard minute.
Wow.
I'm so shocked CJ did this right now.
Wow. Look
What,
at that.
CJ, are you a pro's pro? What happened?
Yeah. Now, is that part of your argument, or what are we doing here?
You're going to tell me that the Korean All-Star Weekend with the bunt derby, the home run derby, the fielding expeditions, that's not the most electric. You have a packed Korean baseball field watching people lay down precision.
CJ, you could end your argument right now and win. I'm telling you, don't go too much.
I don't know what is more than that. The drama. The drama.
He's literally doing what I did last week with
just
the
end it,
CBS
CJ. You're gonna win.
The drama.
Done. It's over. It's over. CJ is a champion once again. CJ is it's over. He pulled out video like CJ, this guy that comes on here, mumbles, rants, and is it goes old man curmudgeon. Pulled out technology. He pulled out technology. CJ.
I don't know how the power to shift my screen.
Wow. My mind is blown.
We just opened up Pandora's fucking box with me sharing the screen.
I'll be honest with you. I did see that Korean bunt thing. That is awesome. It is electric. That is electric.
I remember when we were in COVID and ESPN got the rights, I was staying up like 3 a.m. watching Korean baseball.
CJ, I need you to do me a favor really quick. If you're going to be screen sharing, check your Twitter DMs and open it up, because you have to end up now including my favorite tweet if we're opening up Pandora's box.
Twitter's on my phone.
The tweeters, twatters.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get it to you. I need you to pull up a clip on YouTube.
Oh my God, I have to finish the story now. I will not.
Yes, if you're going to end up doing it, you're going to have to do it the right way.
This. Look at this. The Rock in Korean baseball.
That is...
I am so shocked and so proud at the same time. And I don't even want to win that time. CJ,
I know.
I taught during COVID. I know how it works.
Yeah, that's the only thing that could be better than that. This is Eddie Columbus with your We Like Sportz breaking news. That's right. The Ohio State Buckeyes continue their pursuit of a national championship in 2024 with a hiring of a new offensive coordinator. The Bucks have all their chips in. Chiefs tight end Travis Swift.
What a dad joke. It took me a minute.
Every week.
Travis Swift, tight end of Kansas City, was caught during the game yelling and grabbing head coach Andy Reid after it appears he didn't like not being in on a play. Reid laughed it off in the postgame and said Kelsey is so talented, he can do 2 things at once. Yeah, assault and battery. And finally, the most memorable moment from this year's Super Bowl might be Taylor Swift chugging a beer. Now that the season is over, Tay better start chugging more beer. How else could you put up with Travis when you're not in a luxury box far away from him? And this is Eddie Columbus with your We Like Sportz breaking news.
That's been the best break-ed news I've heard in such a long time. Ed didn't stumble.
Every week it's amazing. Ed, it's so good. Every week it's amazing.
CJ, you know what? He's bringing out the best in me tonight. CJ's bringing out the best in us.
No.
Honestly, the assault and battery, that made me almost spit out my
I thought you almost gonna. I saw that. I was like, you almost had me cracking up when I saw that.
Dude, I was not ready for that. And on another note, I know CJ's watching wrestling. Ed's watching wrestling.
No.
I'm not actually. I'm not.
92-91, end of the third right now.
Okay, thank you for the Peyton.
Cleveland State?
My middle name, Edward, so.
Oh, beautiful.
News.
Beautiful.
It works out that way. CJ's not correlated.
Well, before we have our special guest on, I think we should always do this.
What if he doesn't show up?
Pay the bills. Always pay the bills.
If
you want an energy drink that you can mix at home that doesn't give you the jitters, they make you crash. If so, then try Dubby. Their products have no calories, no sugar, no maltodextrin. CJ, they don't have it. That's a good thing. They have no fillers.
Maltodextrin keeps you from getting hard. So, it's good that they don't have it.
Dubby has great flavors such as Dragonade, Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, Dub Sludge, and now their new flavor, Aniba Elixir flavor. It's like a sour gummy bear. So you want to check that out. Head on over to w.gg. Use the coupon code We Like Sportz to get 10% off your order. Also, check out the Snooze You Lose podcast with Uncle Joe the Black Bookie. His Snooze You Lose pick of the week. You'll want to check that out because
what was his pick last week?
To get you more bang for your buck in your sports entertainment world. And also always got to give a hugs to us and the We Like Sportz PC.com. Check out our website. Great articles.
Joe America.
And check out
Vinny, a huge part of us right now too.
Yes,
shout out to Vinny, Joe America. Shout out to Ben Brazil and
Uncle Joe, the Black
Curtis
Bookie.
Canada.
CJ, I know you asked. You were interested.
Yeah.
The Canucks beat the Capitals in overtime, and Uncle Joe, the Black Bookie, picked the Vancouver
Wouldn't
Canucks.
think of the Black Bookie as being somebody who watched hockey.
Oh.
I mean, either way, he's successful at the end of the day. If you guys need picks, check us out on MyBookie.
Yes, MyBookie. That's right. Because guess what, CJ? If you found $100 bill on the ground, you wouldn't walk past it. So don't pass up a chance with easy cash with MyBookie. MyBookie has the biggest online selection of odds and contests. Fill up all your sports betting needs anytime, anywhere, so you can use that sports knowledge and turn that into cash in your wallet. Bet on the NFL, college bowl games.
Take the Uncle Joe, the Black Bookie guy, lay his bets down on MyBookie, and buy some W.
Yeah, that's right. And if you've been waiting for the right time to get in the action, the time is now. Make your winning move today. Sign up at MyBookie. Use promo code SPORTS. That's sports with a Z. And claim your deposit match redeemable up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code SPORTS with a Z to claim your bonus. Experience the thrill of sports betting right from the comfort of your home. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. So thanks, CJ. I think you offer great, alternatives and solutions to what you should do.
With Peyton away. Peyton's freaking out because he doesn't know if he's going to show up now.
Oh wow!
If he doesn't show, then free whatever.
I just want to say this too. This is a good time. It says, shout out to the 8th grade Tays Valley West basketball team, champions of the Mid-State League. And CJ, check this out. I'm going to tell you how they won it, and you tell me if you'd be on the edge of your seat. Okay?
All right, you tell me. Close
Our Tays Valley Vikings, my son's 8th grade team, was up by 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, there was a technical. There was some bad things that happened, and we ended up being down by 1 point with 5 seconds to go. Valley West tried to inbound the ball, and their point guard went coast to coast and laid it up, but he was fouled with 0 time on the clock. He sunk 2 free throws, and Tays Valley won 36-35, champions. And I just, couldn't be more proud of the boy and myself.
So proud.
Them. So proud. See, so proud.
How many points does your son get in the game?
He had 4.
Well, and buckets, man. White guy's out there for defense.
He gets rebounds and does stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
He does white guy stuff.
Yeah, right. There you go. Right. There you go.
Yeah. Get some rebounds.
Yeah,
I guarantee Peyton's freaking out that wait, what is this?
Well, we'll see. Well, I feel good. I feel like you had a great debate. A great one for you as well. Breakhead News was perfect.
Breakhead News was perfect.
And then we did the ads. We paid the bills. We had, I'm saying, it's been a very spirited show. But yes, we are waiting on.
And we still have more time. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know when we get into. What do you think about? Let's talk about wrestling real quick. I love to talk about wrestling. What's going to happen at Elimination Chamber? Who's going to face Seth Rollins?
I got no fucking clue.
I know, me neither. That's why I asked you.
I bet the easy thing is to say Drew. I just feel like that's kind of what they're building up as.
They really like Drew McIntyre, don't they, for some reason?
I like Drew McIntyre. I feel him as a heel.
Uh-oh. You know what? I see somebody in the green room right now, and I got my Wahoo out. We are Wahoo ready for this guy right now.
Yeah,
and
my dog's had
and I love when they always said at Jacobs Field, not Progressive. To me, it's always the Jake. And now batting for the Tribe, the first baseman, Matt LaPorta. Matt LaPorta, welcome to the We Like Sportz Show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Ed and Peyton and CJ. Good to see you. That was quite the introduction. I appreciate that.
Oh, hey, anytime, my guy.
That's on fire with him.
Hey.
Please.
You got more of a distinguished resume than the 3 gentlemen that you're talking to right now, and that's what we got you on the show. Hey, no offense, Peyton and CJ, and even myself. I love me some me, but I've never hit a home run in the major leagues like you have. And so, welcome to the show. And how's everything going?
Man, everything is good. I'm glad I made it back on time. My boys just wrapped up their baseball practice and got home just in time.
Now, well, what is that like having boys playing baseball? Because I wasn't a major leaguer, I wasn't in the NBA, but you were in the show, and now you got your kids playing, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, do they look at you? I mean, you're dad to them, but it's like my dad was a major league baseball player, or they're not in awe like we are. It's just, it's people. They're to you. You're always dad. Is that how that works?
Yeah, I don't think it's. I think in some ways it's sunk in a little bit, but but they still. I'm like telling them how to hit, do something. They're like, yeah, okay. I'm like, I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. Just listen.
Yeah, right. Just a little, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, you get. I'm sure you get all the same questions of what was your best moment, what was your most memorable moment. But I always like to talk about just the human aspect of things. So obviously you spent time with the Columbus. I'm in Columbus, so Ed in Columbus. I'm not lying. I am in Columbus, and obviously you played in Cleveland. So your time in Columbus compared to Cleveland, what do you think about the two cities? Because I always like to ask people about, you're not from Cleveland, you're not from Columbus. What do you think about Ohio, Cleveland, Columbus? What was your general thoughts about the people, the restaurants, the towns, the cities? Anything that you want to say about us? Maybe nice things, hopefully nice things.
Yeah. No, Columbus was great. I love Columbus. I mean, yeah, hockey, college football. I mean, it was a great atmosphere. They were building up everything around the park. And I mean, you had, great new high rises, a lot of awesome places to eat. You could kind of feel that college town vibe, which was great, coming from Gainesville, University of Florida. So it still had some of that.
You're a Gator.
Yeah.
I fear you. You took in 2007 the national title game, and then in basketball a couple months later. So don't chop us.
Don't check out
Yeah.
CJ's head either. He's trying to stir the pot a little bit with you.
Oh, got the
I'm not.
Oh, jeez.
I
love
saw
Matt
that.
LaPorta.
I saw that
I
earlier.
love Matt LaPorta when he was here.
Yeah, that's all right. I got my 2-bits hat on. I don't know if you guys
okay.
remember,
Nice.
Mr. 2-bits from UF, but
Nice.
but yeah, and then Cleveland was great. Cleveland was a good town, a ton of great places to eat in Cleveland. But it was a big city, right? Like Columbus is a big city, but you kind of had that still small town.
Yes, I agree with that. It's a town.
feel to it.
Cleveland's a city. Columbus is a town.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gosh. So, okay. So, do you remember your first major league home run and how you felt?
I do.
I always, yeah.
I
Tell
do.
us.
So I get called up. We're playing Detroit. I go to Detroit. I sit the first game. Second game, my luck would have it. We, facing Justin Verlander.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
So it's the first game. It's in the big leagues. All right. Needless to say, I didn't get a hit that day.
Fair enough. I don't think I would have either.
Yeah, we left, and then we went to Toronto, and we were facing them the next day. I was in the lineup, and Brian Talent was pitching, a left-hander, and I just clipped him, and so my first hit was a home run.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Wow. So, what was your favorite Major League Baseball park to play in? Because I'm a big fan of parks and everything. And then I want your thoughts about Progressive Field. I know they're doing some renovations and things like that. And how would you rate that? Because I think it's still a gem. Built in 1994. I still think it passes the test of time. I know. Look at down in Arlington with the Rangers. I mean, it was built the same year, the ballpark in Arlington. They just got a new stadium a couple years ago. I don't think Cleveland needs to do that because I think it is such a gem. I just wanted your thoughts because you got to see it more intimately than us fans obviously get to see it.
Yeah, great question. I think my favorite place to play was Fenway Park. Just the history, right?
Yeah.
Like the history was there. The fans were great there. They're kind of right on top of you. Great experience. I like Boston too. It was a fun place to play. As far as Progressive Field goes, I thought it was one of the better stadiums in the league. Locker rooms are great, plenty of space. They didn't need anything structurally.
Okay.
I think now, but that was 10 years ago,
right?
And so now probably a facelift on it all is probably a good thing and a needed thing. And also, I think that stadium was built when, frankly, there's probably a lot more people going to baseball games.
Yeah, that's
right. And I know
that is a great point.
They packed it out a few years here and there, but the reality is, the average attendance of baseball has gone down quite a bit. Probably just again, just because we can stream everything, it's harder to get to the games.
Yep.
And so I think you're going to start seeing, the stadiums be a little more condensed, offering a more
intimate
activities. Yeah, intimate and more activities, I think, within the stadium for people.
Okay.
Matt, what are your thoughts on the new rules with baseball this past year with the pitch clock and
great question.
All the different rules with the 3 moves, and then you have to end up having the actual pickoff, or else the runner ends up advancing to second, third base. Are you a fan of them, or are you kind of indifferent and kind of base the old ways of baseball the way it used to be?
Yeah, great question. I am a fan of the pitch clock.
Me too.
I think that was a necessity for the game. I'm not necessarily a fan of the pickoff deal. I think that's why you see so many stolen bases this year, right? Because you only get a certain amount of pickoff, and it's like, all right, if I've done it, whatever it is, 2 or 3 times, now I can go. So not a huge fan of that. And not a fan. I'm not quite sure the reasoning behind the. I think they enlarged the bases a little bit.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. So I'm not a huge fan of that. I think that kind of starts to play a little bit with the integrity of the original game. And they must have had their reasonings behind it. I just don't necessarily know if I agree with that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I always find it funny, like, tinkering. You look at the NFL, how they tinker and change rules, and baseball has always been one of those sports where you don't want to. You want to keep it as classic as possible, but I don't know. I do like the pitch clock. I do like the games being 2.5 hours or whatever. I think that like you're saying, everybody's streaming. It's a faster paced society. You want to kind of know when the game might end instead of being the 3-4 hour games that they used to be. As I get older, I love watching baseball, so keep it on. If I fall asleep, for a couple innings, I wake up. Oh yeah, game's still on. It's great. That's one thing about baseball. It's the soundtrack of our or summer lives, especially. I think that's great. So so do you find yourself catching a lot of games, or do you still watching the Guardians now? And what are your thoughts about? I'm wearing Wahoo. I remember Albert Bell and Omar Vizquel would always say it's the best logo in baseball, and I don't consider them racist or anything like that. So people have their own opinions on it. I think it was one of the saddest things seeing Wahoo go away, but we move on and we're now the Guardians. So what's your thoughts about, the Guardians, I guess, as an organization and as a logo? Do you even like their new logo and things?
Yeah. So I'll go back, to baseball real quick about, the game is always evolving, like you said, and you're always trying to iterate. And sometimes when you iterate, it makes a lot of sense. And sometimes you realize maybe, it doesn't make the best sense. But the nice thing that I think Manfred is doing and MLB is doing is trying to get people more engaged with the game. So you can't fault them for trying, right? Nobody's going to get everything perfect. Regarding the name, I'm not a fan of the Guardians.
Okay.
If they needed to change the Chief Wahoo and all of that, hey, I get it. I understand. Kind of where we're at. But I'm not a fan of the name. I think the name is there could have been better names, right? Like I would have been, we could have just called them the Cleveland Baseball Club.
Okay.
Just kept it simple.
Keep it,
kept it simple. But again, they have their reasons for doing what they do. But the logo, actually, I don't mind the logo.
I don't either. I'm glad you. I agree. I do kind of like it. I kind of like it.
Yeah, the logo's not bad.
Okay.
Not, I don't think it's bad at all.
Okay.
So, Matt, what was it like hitting? For one, in general, a walk-off home run is something special, and I feel like every kid that plays baseball wants to end up at least having that moment at least at one time. And we've posted it on X. I sent it to you personally too, the promo that we had, and it was your walk off against the Twins in Matt Guerrieri, I think, back in 2010, and that's when the Indians beat the Twins 7-6. What was that like, hitting a walk off home run? Let alone, I believe that was your first home run or walk off home run as well.
Yeah, that's an incredible experience. To just come up so clutch for your team. Fans go wild, the energy, your team is wild. It's just one of those cool things in baseball that every kid wants to hit a walk-off, right? And a walk-off home run, right?
Yes.
A walk-off hit is one thing, that's cool too, but a walk-off home run
because then you can go as fast
special.
as you want to. Then
right? Yeah, there you go.
You dictate the terms of the bases. Yes,
that's right.
Matt, you and I are a lot alike, I guess. I mean, I only got one of them too, but it was in softball, and I mean that's a lot more different compared to baseball. At the end of
the you're still hitting a round ball with a round bat.
Right.
Hey, you're just flattering me at this point, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about bat flipping, and do you think pitchers are too sensitive about batter? Because I thought anytime anybody crushes a ball 400 some feet and wins the game or whatever, even if it's in the fifth inning. I think some of these pitchers, I'm all for. Like, I like the fans having fun with players that show emotions, and I hate when the next batter has to take one in the ribs then because of that. Do you think pitchers are too sensitive, or do you feel like they have to be because that's the unwritten rules of the game, and if you don't do that, then you're kind of like not living up to the legacy that was before?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a fine line where you have a bat flip that is. There's just a fine line.
Okay.
You're showing the guy, hey, you're showing the pitcher up. All right, that's fine. The pitcher sees it. He files it away. Okay. And, the next at bat, I'm sorry if you got one in the ribs.
You ever have a bat flip like that? You had a lot of home runs in Florida, bigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your favorite? Any memorable bat flips you had?
One?
I have two.
Okay.
That are very memorable. I'll start with the one in college first. So it's my sophomore year, 2005. We're playing Vandy. We have to sweep Vandy, and they were good. I mean, they had Jensen Lewis. They had David Price. They had some studs on their team. I can't remember some of the other guys. So anyway, we got to sweep them, or Tennessee had to lose a game, something like that. But anyway. So we're in this game. It's the second game, and I'm leading the country in home runs. Hitting 330 or whatever I was hitting. And Jensen Lewis is on the mound. I've already punched out twice against Jensen. He struck me out twice, 2 fastballs inside, and he was still out there pitching the next time I got up to bat. But the batter before me, they walked the bases loaded to get to me.
Ooh. Did you take that personal?
100%. I took that personal.
Nice.
And so, we have a good at bat. We get to, basically full count. He pumps one inside, I foul it off. He pumps another one inside, I foul it off. And again, I've struck out 2 times on his fastball inside. So he comes back in again for a third one.
Oh.
I hit this ball so far, and I flipped my bat, and I walked halfway to first base. And I thought their first base coach, his name was Babbage or Baggage, I cannot remember. I think he's a head coach at Michigan. And I thought this guy was going to kill me. So, I'm rounding the bag. I'm coming. My coach is yelling at me. Everybody's yelling like, "Man, run!" But I just hit a grand slam off a guy that touched me out twice.
Yeah.
And he's trying to show me up by walking the guy in front of me. It's not going to work. So I get around third base, and that first base coach was like, I could see him out of the corner of my eye, wanting to come out of the dugout. He got up to the top of the step. I was like, just looking out, making sure I didn't get, tackled or something. That was probably in college. And then in professional baseball, I was playing an A-ball. I usually don't do this, and it's only if somebody
that's why we love it. We want to tell these stories. Yep, absolutely.
Or disrespects my teammate or something like that. And there was this guy, I don't remember who we were playing, and I don't even remember who it was. And we're playing in West Virginia, though, at West Virginia Power, low A. I just signed, and man, this dude was running his mouth to our hitters and this and that, and I was like, all right. So next at bat, I hit this ball so far. You got a big scoreboard in left field, and then behind that you got a street, and then this big building across the street. I was close. If I didn't hit that building, I was pretty close to it. And that was a big bat flip and kind of take my time around the bases. It just stared the guy the whole time. So he did something with one of our teammates, and I was like, "That's not gonna fly."
Okay, well,
So
we're no judgment group.
Matt, what was it like then? Because you mentioned Jensen Lewis and yourself having that showdown pretty much back then, and you guys were teammates, I believe, for 1 or 2 seasons too, as well, with the Indians.
Yeah.
Was there any kind of like, I guess, inside jokes between you guys?
Yeah. Did somebody have to buy each other lunch one time or anything?
Yeah, we would rib each other about that a lot, and that story would always get brought up. And his rebuttal to it is, "Well, I punched you out twice." I'm like, "Yeah, I hit a dinger off you, and I got 4 ribbies." So
yeah,
I think I won.
Yeah, as a batter, 1 for 3 with 4 ribbies and a 3-3. Yeah, I would say you won that one. I would say
Wow. Yeah, we
I wanted to
gave
know.
each other a hard time.
You got drafted 2 or 3 just time. What was that process like? Like going through, like when you got drafted out of high school, like like I wasn't going to sign. I wanted to go to Florida. So what was that like?
Do you think they should
Sure.
change also too when you're done with? Do you think they should change anything about the drafting process of baseball, or is there something with football things or in the NBA, but baseball it seems kind of like it's different it seems than the other ones. So is there anything that you don't like about
Yeah,
that?
it is a little different. So I got drafted by the Cubs out of high school, and I actually wanted to sign. I wanted to go and play pro ball. But my old high school coach was a head coach now at Florida Gulf Coast, or I think he's been there, but he started the program at Florida Gulf Coast. And basically, what he told me was like, "Hey, look, man, if you can't get better by going to college and improve your draft stock, like by going to college, you were never going to make it to the big leagues. So go to college, basically. You're going to SEC school, D1. It doesn't get much better than that. So go." So I turned that offer down, and it wasn't. It was enough, but it wasn't a lot, and so I turned it down, and obviously went to college. And then we had a couple. I got drafted as a junior. I turned that down, because I was much later in the draft than I anticipated being, and so I went back for my senior year. I guess the third time's a charm.
Did you love college? Was that college baseball? Was that the most purest that you had compared to your minor leagues, your big leagues? Was that you're still in college? Or was what I'm saying? How was that for you?
Yeah, college was great.
Okay, that's how I figured it would be. Yeah, Florida.
Yeah.
I figured. Yeah.
Yeah, college was awesome, and I had a great experience. Right, we won 2 national championships, 2 basketball national championships, and football, and we went to the College World Series in 2005. It was just an incredible experience. Getting to play in the Cape, nothing. Yeah, the college experience was wonderful.
So how was Omaha then? Was that nice going to the College World Series?
Oh, Omaha was great.
Yeah.
The fans there are fantastic. The city just rallies around the games and the kids and everybody there. Tremendous experience.
Gosh, you're everything you're talking about as a kid, growing up, because I'm originally from Cleveland. I used to go down to Municipal Stadium. I always make this joke that we were social distancing, before it was the thing to do, because we'd have 5,000 people in a 70,000 foot old Municipal Stadium, and so I always wanted to be, the fact that you got to be a Cleveland Indian is a dream come true for this boy, and I'm glad to have you on the show, and I'm saying it's like. It's truly an honor to have you on. And so being an Indian, so the organization, like you got, I'm saying, how would you, as fans, sometimes the Guardians get this, bad rap of, not trying to win and doing this and all that. What did you see when you were there? I don't think that's the case. I think they try to be, as a small market team, I think they try to be strategic about making moves. They have to make trades instead of signing high price free agents like the Dodgers and Yankees can just write blank checks to everybody, and they have to try to be smarter about it. So is that kind of your perception of the Guardians? Kind of like, they have to be really, really diligent with their money?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they probably have one of the better front offices in the game, and
Okay.
but to your point, right? If you have a limited budget, you've got to find ways to make that work, and not every team can write the blank check and sign somebody for $300-400 million, right? And I think Chris has done a fantastic job there. Mark Shapiro, when he was there, did a great job, I thought. And I mean, they want to win. Nobody gets into the position to be the president
Right,
and not want to win, right? But you can sometimes you have to make strategic decisions that most fans don't quite understand. But these guys are thinking 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're trying to picture what does it look like a few years down the road for us.
So Matt, when you were with the Indians at the time, and I mean it's pretty much been a thing for a while, their development of pitching has been, I mean, it's a pitching factory. I mean, every Indians fan has seen that it's became a pitching factory, but we haven't really seen too many power hitters developed really well. When you were with the Indians at the time, did you see signs of that back then at all? That the organization, I mean, no ill will whatsoever with them, but did you maybe see that was something missing in your development or other people's development throughout the time as a position player, trying to have more focus on pitching instead of power hitters?
Yeah, that's a good question, and a tough one. I think they did a good job. We had power hitters. We had the Travis Hafners. We had, again, and if we go back before that, we had the Jim Thome. We had the Manny Ramirez. We had the guys like that, and I think as time went on, for whatever reason, like you said, maybe they didn't have that same depth of power hitters. I don't, and I was coming to, I was in it at a different time, from my perspective, where power was still key and you wanted power, but I think they also were focusing a little bit more on, don't swing and miss as much, right? Like, take your walks. So I think it's sometimes as a power hitter that can play in your mind a little bit. And so it's just kind of maybe the approach was slightly different. Whereas now, I mean, just grip it and rip it. I mean, you see guys 200 strikeouts all day long, right? And when I was playing, I mean, you have 1, 2 guys punch out 200 times. So again, I think it's all a matter of what you put your focus on, right? Sometimes, teams have different philosophies on what they really want to focus on. And again, not that, go on.
Oh, do you think I'm glad you said that about the grip it and rip it. Do you feel like if you were playing right now, do you feel like it would be easier for you to play now because you could just focus because you had power? Let's be real. I've seen you had power. That's one thing undeniable. Matt LaPorta had power. Do you feel like your career would have been, you would have probably had 40 home runs every year because you wouldn't have worried about like trying to make contact? Like, what I'm saying? It seems like with you, it's like the struggle of trying to make contact. You're the kind of guy go up there and just hit the ball. Like, I wouldn't even tell you as a hitting coach what to do. I feel like you would go up there and do what you need to do. And I wouldn't try to get in your head that way. And I feel like in today's game, if what you're saying is true, the grip and rip it, I think you'd be very much more successful than what you even were in today's game.
Yeah, I think I probably could have had a little bit more success and had a little more freedom to just swing.
Freedom, that's a great word. I'm glad you said it. Freedom is what I was. Yes.
Yeah. But I kind of started. My body unfortunately broke down a little bit, and then you start pressing because then you're kind of hurt, and it's tough already to compete in the big leagues, and so when you feel like you're not at that level, you just start pressing and. Now you start really expanding your zone and you're swinging at bad pitches. It kind of all gets in your head, like it plays off each other. But I think, to have the freedom to just, hey man, just go out and swing.
Yeah.
Might have eased some pressure.
Nice.
Matt, when you end up talking about like the grip it and rip it style and being a power hitter, I mean, for those guys that end up looking to be aspiring baseball players, could you end up sharing what maybe your workout routine was back in the day or the lifting routine, or even what maybe like you could even go in depth from the standpoint of even superstition if you wanted to as well? I mean, if you wanted to end up hitting on that, but mainly with your lifting routine before the games or before the season, what was your main focus? Because, I mean, obviously with power, you're involving a lot of lifting more than likely and not so much cardio.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be an all-around, healthy and in shape, right? Because it's 162 games, and so you got to make sure your legs are strong and your body's strong so it doesn't break down. And so it's important to have a good off-season routine, and just commit to it, right? I mean, I'm sure some guys, I'll work out today, and they don't work out the next day. But I think being consistent, committing to that is key. One of the things, for young hitters, like, middle school, high school kids, to start thinking about, like, I always had a bucket of rice wherever I was at, and I would work, I'd work my hands in the bucket of rice to build up my hand strength. I'd always have grippers, working on my hand strength, doing forearm, workouts, again, because hitting is like, I think it's, a lot of it's from your elbows to your wrist, right? Elbows to your hands, that strength. And so you got to have that, the strong hands and strong forearms. And so spend a lot of time on that, which, is key. Obviously your core, you're spending a lot of time on that, being explosive to the ball. And then as far as like a routine, I think hitters, whatever it is, you need to develop a routine, right? Like my routine, I would get on the top step, take a nice deep breath before I go, and I'm on the on-deck circle. On the on-deck circle, I'd take the donut, and I'd swing it around 3 times on both arms, and then take 2 swings, right? And then I'd take another deep breath. And then when I got to the batter's box, before I stepped in, I would take, 1 more deep breath. And I would tell myself, basically, see the baseball and attack it. And that was kind of my routine, and focus. Is just really, because if you can't see the baseball, you're not going to be able to hit it. So I really tried to focus on seeing the baseball.
So CJ actually coaches baseball and during high school season as well as summer leagues as well. And I mean, he's seen some strange routines and it works too as well. For instance, I'm going to let him hit on the story. I'm not going to speak for him, but have you ended up having any weird routines or unique, I guess you could say, routines that you've seen while playing baseball around teammates or even just being around the game in general?
Like basically what the WTF, what's going on here?
Yeah.
What is this guy doing?
I have to think about that one. I don't remember seeing too crazy of routines on guys. I mean, I remember, playing against guys, watching them and stuff, but like, David Ortiz's routine when he would step out. I mean, again, we didn't play together, but when he would step out of the batter's box and do his batting glove, that was one that was, I always found interesting. But as far as our team goes, I don't remember anybody that had some strange routines. I'll have to think about it while we're talking.
DJ, it's your turn to share your story now.
I don't know who you're talking about.
The kid on the on-deck circle.
On-deck circle?
With the Bible.
That's this year. No, the Bible just brought us some luck,
Okay, all right.
I had a kid
Divine intervention.
It was one of the things, like, I coached 2 teams and they were playing, and we came back and the Bible was in the dugout. I was like, let's make sure we bring the Bible. And then this year, like, we were in the middle of a game, and I think they had bases loaded, so maybe first and second. And like he's at my DH, and he's holding the Bible up in his hand. See the Bible, fly ball, right field, caught. We turned to triple play.
No way.
I was like, yeah, holy shit, the Bible works.
Yeah.
I forgot about the Bible. Yeah.
He's
Matt, if you would have had the Bible, you would have.
Yeah. He came walking in with it, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh God, no, James, I don't need the Bible right now. Like, no outs.
That's
and I just got out of it.
Yeah, that's a unique superstition.
Yeah, that's right.
It wasn't everywhere. He's like, it's always in my bag. I was like, where is it today? He's like, oh, my mom's bringing it. You played in the Olympics in 2008. What was that whole experience like, being a part of the Beijing Games?
That was an incredible experience, getting to represent your country, playing a game that you love, right? Playing America's pastime, getting to go do that. It was great. My wife got to come over and watch, and phenomenal experience. China, it was in China. China did a good job hosting us, I thought. Opening ceremonies was amazing. I mean, they just they really did a good job of rolling out kind of the red carpet for all the athletes. And the village, the Olympic Village was awesome. I remember one day walking in and getting cereal. I'm eating Fruit Loops, and so I'm eating Fruit Loops, and Rafael Nadal sits next to me.
Tennis player.
Yeah. So we're just sitting there eating Fruit Loops together, talking tennis and baseball and Olympics, and so that was pretty cool. That was a great experience. I remember. Well, a side note, you guys might find this interesting. So my wife, and I love my wife, she's awesome. She was a track star at University of Florida, pole vaulter.
Oh,
and so the Olympics, predominantly, everybody thinks of the Olympics, track, field, like those are the swimming. That's kind of the core of the Olympics, if you will. And so one day I told my wife, this was years ago, right? I'm like, hey, I want to get the Olympic ring tattoo on my arm here. And she's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I think that'd be cool. She goes, Matt, you're not a real Olympian. Like, you're a baseball player. Like, you didn't work 4 years for this one opportunity. Like, you just played baseball, and they had, baseball was in the Olympics, and you made the team. Like, oh man! So that's always my funny Olympic story that I have.
That's amazing.
That is funny.
Yeah.
That's I'm Matt. I'm so glad you came on, but Erin she's kind of right.
Yeah.
She might be right.
Hey, but he got bronze
She
medal.
might be right.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with her. She's like, you guys are out late at night, and you got the game the next day.
Yeah.
These other athletes are early to bed. They're not doing, not eating bad or drinking anything. Like they're dialed in.
Well, I'll say one thing too, and to her point, they have to be dialed in because one little miscue and it's over with. You go 4 years and one little thing and it's in baseball, you make a mistake and error. Okay, maybe you make it up at the plate or do something else to help your team. But and what she's saying, one little thing, that 4-year dream is gone.
Gone.
I know. Yeah.
So, Matt, another question for you, too, just because, the first thing that comes to mind for me is, the Shohei Ohtani and the contract situation. A lot of these baseball players now getting massive contracts. What are your thoughts on it? And do you think it ends up making it the game and the competition overall unfair for the smaller market teams? Right away, we're all from Cleveland here. That's the first thing we think of. It's almost like you feel like you can't compete because of all these massive contracts, and it's almost guaranteed that you're not getting a huge free agent signing like a Shohei.
Yeah.
Does baseball need a salary cap?
Whew. I don't think it needs a salary cap. I think it does make it, I think, harder for small market teams to compete, no doubt. But they can, right? They can compete. You look at the Rays. The Rays, I don't know, what do they spend, $70 million a year?
Yeah.
You look at the Astros when they started winning. They weren't spending that much money on guys. So I think you can still win and you can still compete. And really, you have the Yankees that spend a ton of money. You have the Red Sox. You have the Dodgers. And you look at it and go, they still haven't won the World Series recently. So again, I think that, it's crazy the contracts that the guys get now. Don't get me wrong. I always say it's well deserved because if it was me on the other end,
you'd sign that contract, wouldn't you? You would sign that.
I'd love to have a $400 million contract.
Yeah.
Right. I was never that good to ever get something like that, but I would love to have that. And I think the Shohei deal, Andrew Friedman did did a nice job with that contract. Really, I mean, you know, obviously they're investing that money, and by the time they have to start paying it, the investments are paying for that contract. And then they're in LA, right? So LA has a large population of Asian culture.
Yep.
And I mean, he's the biggest name in Asian baseball right now, right? And so, and it wouldn't surprise me if there was a contract or some sort of agreement that they had with the, you know, national TV over in Japan, right, to broadcast all the Dodgers games. So there's a lot of things, again, that most people don't understand, like what's going on, and like they just see the $600 million. But I think when you break it down from a financial perspective, right, and really get into the numbers, you might see, hey, actually, it's not too crazy.
Yeah, but it's a win-win for both, and that's what I think. That's why it's a good contract.
Yeah. I mean, you know, in 10 years when they got to start paying him or whatever it is, I mean, he's going to be 35 or 38 and start collecting $40 million a year for the next 10 years or whatever it is.
Could Matt LaPorta pitch if needed to? And did you ever get into pitch? Okay.
I have.
Okay.
I didn't pitch. Hold on a second. Yeah. I didn't pitch in the big leagues or anything like that, but I did.
Do you ever want to in one of those blowouts?
That would have been fun. They would have blew us out even more if we were getting.
Okay.
I don't know, but was there ever like, you know, you sitting, you know, down like 12 or something, just
like come on, Skip, come on, I got
it. Yeah, put me in. So I was playing in the Cape one year, in the Cape League All-Star game. So I mean, guys are coming, you know, we're playing. Guys are tired. Their arms are tired. By the end of the game, we kind of run out of arms, and they're like, "Man, who wants to pitch?" I was like, "I do." So I got up on. I went and warmed up. I had Josh Fields, who I think was a closer for the Mariners for a little bit or something. Josh Fields went to Georgia. Actually, he's a Bulldog.
Bulldog.
And he taught me how to throw a little slider. I was like, all right, so throw a couple fastballs, a little slider, and I went out and pitched. I faced 4 batters. I got a ground out by, I can't remember if I struck Posey out or if he grounded out.
Ooh.
That's like my claim to fame in pitching. And then the other 3 guys, Reese Havens, 2 other guys, I can't remember their name. One of those other guys played in the big leagues too. But anyway, I got 2 punch outs and a ground out and a pop out.
Whoa!
No bat flips either
4 up, 4 down.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. What's that?
No bat flips on the other side for you when you were pitching.
No, no bat flips. I was in there. I was pumping at 88.
Okay.
I will tell you this: the next day or 2 days after, I couldn't lift my arm to throw.
It's a little sore.
My lat, everything back here was so sore. I mean, I couldn't lift my arm to throw. It was painful.
So, Matt, when you ended up talking about the Olympics, I mean, obviously that was over in China. And earlier today, ironically enough, I'm a fan. If you're a fan of comedians too, Theo Von had Trevor Bauer on this past week too. And he's talking about playing over in Japan and the MPB and just how well the fans end up responding and how amazing that atmosphere is. Was that kind of similar for over in Beijing for the Olympics as well for you guys? Or like, is there any good stories from just like the fan interactions, even possibly from when you were over there for the Olympics?
Yeah, man, I will tell you, playing over in Japan or China or Korea, the Caribbean, it is a whole different experience than playing baseball in the States. In the States, everybody's a little more calm, a little more reserved in the stands. Like in Japan, we played in Japan. I played in Japan on the USA team, collegiate USA team, which, by the way, was loaded with studs.
Nice.
I mean,
well, you were one yourself. Hey, no.
Yeah, but I mean, we had. I'm going to rip off this list for you. We had John Jay, we had Max Scherzer, we had David Price, JP Arencibia, Mark Melancon, myself, Chris Perez, Shane Jordan, No, Shane Robinson. Sorry. I mean, it was.
Yeah, those are good.
Ian Kennedy.
Oh,
wow.
We were stacked.
Okay.
So anyway, but we're over there, and that was the first experience I had playing in Asia. And the fans, the whole game, they have chants. They have.
It's like a soccer match, right? It's like a soccer match.
Exactly. It's just like a soccer match. And it's the same way it was over in China, just like a soccer match. The whole game when you're playing Japan or Korea, China not so much because still baseball is getting bigger there, but just intense, loud. It's quite an experience.
Plenty of memories, obviously, at the end of the day.
So basically, he's saying, CJ and Peyton, as fans, when we go to the game, we need to be chanting the whole game. We need to pick the wave could go a couple innings. Right?
No wave.
We got a Jose chant. That's about all we got in Cleveland, and that's the thing that carries us for every at bat.
Yeah, that guy's not so good. God, he's so good.
Well, man, honestly, while we end up hitting on it really quick too, what are your thoughts about the Guardians the last couple of years, if you're still following? I mean, with 2022, with them having a super young team, making it to the playoffs, I mean, damn near almost beating the Yankees as well. And then last year, obviously not a result that Cleveland fans want, but what are your thoughts of how the team's looked with how youthful the team has with all those debuts they've had too within the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, the team, they've done a nice job at, again, they have a young team. And I think that just goes to show you that small market teams, young teams can still go out and compete. And they've done a great job with that. Tito's a great manager too. I think that had a little bit to do with it, right? And how he allows the guys to play and he's a stud. So we'll see kind of how, I think it's Stephen Vogt.
Yes.
Yeah. He.
You know him? Have you ever had any interactions with him?
Yeah, we've played against each other and stuff when he was in Oakland. I think he was there.
Yeah, he was in Oakland.
Yeah. Good dude. I think he'll do well. I mean, he knows the game. He caught for a long time, and I think catchers tend to make good managers.
Yes. Eric Wedge was one, and then we had do you see yourself ever managing someday or getting into baseball in that kind of capacity?
Yeah, great question.
I had to ask.
No. It's a fantastic question. I don't see myself getting into like managing, coaching. If I got into baseball, I would look to get back in more on the front office side.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Are you a good talent evaluator, would you say? What's your strength? Yeah, but I'm interviewing Matt LaPorta, front office. What's your number? What do you bring into the?
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I probably offer a unique perspective to that side of the game, just because I've obviously played the game in the big leagues. And I've got a small little investment firm, and so I understand finance, and how to evaluate, again, just make some of those financial decisions that need to be made. And then, I'm wrapping up my MBA from Northwestern Kellogg.
Okay.
And so I think that provided some of my, some of the frameworks to be a better manager, right? And to put systems and processes in place to have success.
Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Matt, what are your thoughts on all the intense, I guess you could say, baseball stats now? I mean, talking about the sabermetrics of everything from baseball. I mean, did you ever, as a player, end up paying attention to WAR or anything on those intense side of stats, let alone now sabermetrics having every single specific stat for baseball players?
Launch angles, this, that, the other thing.
Exit velocity.
Is it too much?
Yeah. I think, so when I was playing, we didn't have quite that much information. I don't even know if we might have just started looking at WAR. As I was coming out, I think information is great, but you can have information overload.
Yeah.
And so you have to do a really good job at picking out, like, what is the one or two things that I'll focus on, right? You can't focus on all of them, right? I think there's so much information, and it can kind of almost give you like middle block. Instead of playing free, right? You're thinking about, I need to do this, or I need to do that. Like, and I think that's not what you want to do.
Paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you really want to try to find a way that you can take all of these pieces of information, digest it down into one bite size, and then work on those things.
Wow. Well, I think you're right, because it's just like, how do you vision your club, especially if you're in the front office, Matt LaPorta, how you want your club, you're going to pick and choose the metrics that you're using. And obviously you're going to get those tools, and that's awesome. I would love to see you in the front office someday, maybe in Cleveland. That'd be nice. I ain't gonna lie. It's been since 1948 since the Cleveland baseball team has won a World Series. And, in 2016, they got close against the Cubs. And, maybe if we would have had your arm in the 10th inning, maybe that would have. Hey, you got 4 outs.
I don't know.
Needed 3. We only needed 3. So
I don't know. We had some good pitchers at that time.
Yeah, just those Cubs. Sometimes I feel like okay. So did you watch the Super Bowl yesterday? Obviously,
I did.
Okay.
I did,
What are your thoughts? I always like to ask. You're an athlete, so you're watching other athletes in different sports and everything. What did you think about the game? And any thoughts about that? Or is Patrick Mahomes the new Tom Brady? Or what's your thoughts about that? Or what's your favorite football team? How about that, NFL?
Oh man, I obviously I live in Tampa, so we're
okay.
I think we're Bucks fans. But I grew up a Bears fan, which they're miserable. They're terrible. And then, I've got a good friend who's a Packer fan, and I've gone to a couple Packers games, and I love that stadium there, the whole atmosphere. It's a fun place. I've actually gone to more Packers games than I have Bucks games.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
My sister's actually a Packers fan too, so I understand how that fandom works.
Yeah, it's a cool experience, man. And what was it? What else did you ask me? You asked me something.
I was just about the Super Bowl. What do you think, Patrick Mahomes?
Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, and then any thoughts about that? Even if you want to talk about a halftime show, give me any thoughts you got about the Super Bowl. I don't care.
That's funny.
Off the cuff, Matt LaPorta. We're off the cuff here.
I thought it was a great game. I mean, a little slow. I think the defense has played well. They kind of had everybody on lockdown. I wanted to see the 49ers win.
Yeah.
They didn't. They got that one field goal blocked, and that cost them the game, because as soon as you go into overtime with Mahomes and the Chiefs, it's over. Like, the guy's got ice in his veins, man. And he's not going to lose. When you let him in like that, they're not going to lose.
Right.
He is an unbelievable athlete. He's fun to watch, very exciting, smart football guy. But they have a pretty good team. I think Andy Reid's done a nice job with their team. But they are fun to watch.
Yeah.
And they go out there and compete.
Yeah.
So, Matt, as a former athlete, I know a lot of people ended up hitting on Travis Kelce and Andy Reid on the sidelines, and a lot of people up in uproar because he almost knocked down Andy Reid. I mean, as a former athlete, what were your thoughts on that? Because me personally, my thought process was that he's an athlete. He's doing everything that we ended up wanting to be, like, passionate as kids, like a World Series for a baseball player. What were your thoughts on that? Are you kind of for the player side or kind of for?
And did you ever get into it with a manager in any point of your career?
I'll answer the latter one first. So I got into it with my college coach my freshman year, because I actually was sitting the bench. I didn't start as a freshman. But I'd come in, and at bat here or there, and I'd hit a home run. Come in, hit a double, hit a home run. All these things, big at bats. And finally, I went in, and our coach, our manager, we were sitting across from the desk, like both hands on the desk, standing up and yelling-ish back and forth, right? Like, not crazy out of control yelling, but just loud. intense conversation, right? And I'm telling him I should be playing every day. I should be starting every day. And he's like, oh, you're too young or this or that. I'm like, that's bull. I'd had the most home runs on our team. I'd lead in average and RBIs if you let me play. But from that, like, I gained a ton of respect for him, and I think he did too for me, because he didn't back down and I didn't back down, and he also didn't like penalize me.
Okay.
And go, you gonna do that to me?
Yeah.
I'll sit you on the bench and you'll never play. He never did that. He let me start playing as the season went on because I just kept. He could not
producing. You were producing.
Yep. So he had to play me. And to this day, I still love the guy. I get a text from him every once in a while, and he's great. He coaches with the Yankees, he helps with the Yankees in their organization. He's fantastic. The Kelsey deal, I get intensity. I get a lot of that. I think that Travis might have lost a little bit of control.
I agree.
It's your manager or your coach, right? I think there's still got to be some level of respect there. I don't care how pissed off you are.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't touch the coach. You can't.
Yeah. It's like, I love the intensity. I do, but you can't channel it that way.
Yeah.
That's a great
answer. That is the only answer. That is the correct answer.
You can't run up to your coach and
no.
Run him over almost.
Okay. Run him over. You're right.
He came in there hot.
He did.
And I don't remember why. I just saw him do that. I don't know what the issue was.
Yeah.
Why he was.
I think he was mad he wasn't in on a play or something like that. I think that's what it was. You can't do that.
But again, that's what makes him probably great is that competitiveness that he has and that intensity. But again, you still got to have, he's a veteran. Right. He knows better. And he made a mistake. In my opinion, maybe he might not feel that way, but I think, he made a mistake. Hey, the moment got the best of him. Right. That's all right. And now, and people need to just, people just let it go. Now you can't screw the guy, right? Like, hey, he made a mistake. You got to move on. Hopefully he owns up to it. I don't know if he does.
Like Taylor Swift would sing, you need to calm down.
Shake it off.
Shake it off. There you go.
Yeah, right.
Shake it off.
So, Matt, going back to baseball, I feel personally when it comes to the number on your back, there's always some type of meaning. Like for me personally, I ended up having number 11. That was my brother's number. And then just this past year, I changed in July to 27, which was my dad's number. And my dad passed away in October. And I timed it great timing, and I'm grateful for it because he was 27 when he played softball. He got to see me at least change to 27 before he passed due to cancer. For number 7 for you, what was the meaning behind your number?
Yeah, great question. So for me, number 7, the kind of the meaning behind it was I was drafted 7th overall in 2007.
Oh,
okay.
That's
kind of was like,
you don't have to hide it too much. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, that was it.
That's the best answer I've ever heard from them. They're just like, okay, well, never made it.
So, Matt, we don't want to end up taking up too much of your time. We're forever grateful for the fact that you've given us, almost over an hour, which is fantastic.
I was just going to yell at CJ the whole time, so we were just, so I'm glad you hopped on here.
Yeah. Well, I would yell at him too with that Bulldogs hat on.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, man. It's a fun time.
Yeah, there you go.
They got a good football team for sure.
But where can people find you? Is there anything that you want to? I always say this: plug whatever you want to plug right now, my guy. Whatever you want to. Plug.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't, man. People can find me just on Instagram. I don't post a lot. I don't do a ton of social. You kind of fly under the radar a little bit. I appreciate that though. Thank you for opening it up.
Yeah, I always, what I'm saying. And if you're ever in Columbus, because we love you in Columbus, I'm sure they love you in Cleveland as well. But I'm in Columbus, so hey, if you're ever in Columbus, I'll buy you a beer.
I like that. that.
Hey, or else maybe we'll all get together too, because our one co-host that's actually flying back down to Florida right now too. he works down at Disney. He was up for the weekend. Maybe when we end up going to see him, we'll end up stopping at LaPorta's house.
Going to LaPorta's house. Let's go. Sorry, Mikey. Sorry in advance.
We can have a cold beer outside.
That'd be awesome.
We're domesticated. We're domesticated, and we take our shoes off.
Yeah, there you go.
But
that's funny.
Oh,
well, I
thanks
appreciate you
for
guys
hopping
having
on,
me
Matt.
Yeah, thank you. This is great. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And again, Matt, thank you so much for your time. I mean, I knew we were talking beforehand that we were going to go off the cuff, but I mean, I didn't know how it was going to go. I expected a lot, but I mean, no pun intended, you've hit it out of the park once again, my friend.
Oh, good. I'm glad I still got that.
You do. Well, thank you for hopping on the We Like Sportz Show, and hope to have you on again sometime. And
have you on our baseball
guys.
season.
All right, take it easy, my guy.
See ya.
What a time.
Dude, that was awesome.
Yeah, I can't believe you guys are asking about the Super Bowl.
Hey, off the cuff style, baby.
Off the cuff, yeah. Look, how many times?
I'm just like, you guys got Major Leaguer Matt LaPorta asking him about.
Well, we could ask him about he's been asked the same questions over and over again. Got to be different. Got to be fun. That guy is a great guy. So yeah, check him out on Instagram or whatever you're gonna do for Matt LaPorta. But
yeah, definitely. And if you can, check out his firm as well, as he ended up mentioning.
Guys,
absolutely. Because I mean, he did us a huge favor tonight by giving us damn near over an hour of his time after taking his boys to practice, coming back. Matt LaPorta, at the end of the day, you could probably end up saying all of us, friend of the show. And I mean, that is by far, I think, the best guest we've had.
Hell of a career. I was looking into some of his stats and just,
You know what? I wish he was on the club now. You look at his numbers and his stats. Could the Guardians use Matt LaPorta? The Guardians use Matt LaPorta.
My oldest brother, he always references having a guy like LaPorta. I mean, 10, 12 years ago, hitting 230 and 23 home runs. I'd kill to have a guy that could hit 230 and 23 home runs in left field right now.
I know. That's the thing about baseball. And think about this, like he said. I like what he said when I asked him the question about the freedom. He would be probably hit 40 home runs and maybe back to so what? He'd have the 40 home runs.
That's the thing. When he was playing, if a guy's hitting they want a guy hit 270, 280, 290, 300 and all that power. If we could have got 240 out of him and 25 homers, 23 homers, sure.
I mean, honestly, the coolest story that I think we heard, I mean, there's plenty of them, but the whole entire bat flip against Vandy and then having Jensen Lewis as your teammate later on. I mean, what are the odds? And then the fact that years later, you're still busting each other's chops, too. And if you have to pick a winner, I think all three of us would agree on who that winner was.
Yeah.
But did we end up expecting this to go this way on a Monday night prime time slot?
We hit it out of the ballpark tonight.
Especially when Ed started.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Ed ended up going.
It's crazy. I'm looking at his 2011 numbers, right? And I know sometimes a guy he's probably banged up in 2012.
Yeah.
But I mean, hit 247, 23 doubles, 11 home runs.
I'd take that.
And also, I'm sorry, guys, that when we talked about the walk-off with Matt LaPorta, I had to mention my highlight.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I love that you equate your walk-off.
Peyton, you're turning into Ed here. You're always talking about yourself.
Sometimes you learn from the best, I guess.
Oh, I appreciate that.
In CJ's words, the most mediocre.
I mean,
he does that.
Get a shot talking about before you're talking about your softball.
I know, right?
Hey, selfless plug at the end of the day,
Selfless plug at the end of the day.
I could have pulled the CJ and pulled up the screen share and pulled up the TikTok clip too and be like, hey, check this out really quick. God. But I'm not like that.
No,
you are though.
You're not, right?
But guys, Ed, when are we doing the show next week? Monday or Tuesday?
I'm looking at probably Tuesday because Monday we're having the banquet for the Taze Valley West 8th grade boys basketball team that were champions that I mentioned early on in the show, my son's 8th grade team. So probably Tuesday, probably around 5:30 or 6. So, but we'll say, hey, check us out on X for more details. We'll have that later on in the week. We'll get that out there and we'll let you guys know. But what a great time!
Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, X, TikTok now. Ooh. I mean, we're all over, baby.
Is R-Truth gonna wrestle at Mania?
R-Truth better wrestle at Mania, and he's gonna cash in the money in the bank for Damian Priest.
Yeah, he probably.
Yeah, he just got beat up on him.
Okay.
It's okay. He's going to steal it, and he's going to say it's my Royal Rumble in the bank.
Well, I have to, because before we end the show, because I have to go to the airport to pick up my wife and daughter. My daughter was down in Orlando at a cheerleading competition for Taze Valley. So
Casey was up here.
Yeah.
Your family was down south.
I know.
It's amazing. We're all trading places.
Maybe they could have went over to Matt LaPorta's house. And who knows if I would have known, but
the world works in mysterious ways.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. But so next Tuesday we'll be on. We'll, like I said, check us out on all the platforms.
Probably 6.
Probably 6. Okay, 6. I like 6. I like 6.
6:30.
Okay. Tuesday, 6:00. Anything else you guys want to talk about real quick before we go?
I mean, honestly, I'm just glad that We Like Sportz Show has became what it has at the end of the day. And thank you to the fans watching tonight. I mean, that's huge for us. I mean, all your support on X, YouTube, Facebook. And we couldn't have been here.
I mean, we just cracked 1 million views on the website.
I know. It's amazing. We're launching bigger and bigger. And I mean,
1 million.
2024, why stop now? And Ed, I want to thank you personally. And I've said it before. Whenever I am not able to do the show, you still carry this ship and you keep it afloat. CJ, you're the man. Casey's the man. Keith Allen is the man. Casey in Orlando is the man.
Yes. I appreciate that. I am the man. I rule.
Compared to what the We Like Sportz podcast used to be during COVID, the We Like Sportz show has been so much better. And I look forward to doing this show each and every week with you guys when I can.
I love that.
You know what? I got one before I go.
Okay.
We still got 10 minutes, so free, whatever, 9 minutes. I saw the stupid Okada stuff.
For AEW.
Okada was going to sign with AEW. He's crying like a bitch and all this. Like, he's not just going to be wrestling there after he signs. Some of this stuff I do not understand in this world of bad television where there's wrestling.
I mean, did you guys end up seeing The Rock in the press conference and Cody and Roman?
Smack.
For the first time probably since, I first started watching November 18th, I believe, 2005, the tribute show to Eddie Guerrero when he passed away. That was the first wrestling show I ever watched. And for the first time, probably within watching SmackDown on Friday nights, getting excited every single Friday, WrestleMania coming up and the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, so what's the season now? Now that the NFL's over.
I'm the most excited.
Basketball, is it baseball season? Is it WrestleMania season?
What is it
now?
The Cavs win.
Right now it's in a boom period.
Cavs lost. Cavs lost. No Embiid. No Tobias Harris. Minus with Mobley and Garland on the floor. Positive with Allen and Mitchell.
But Mobley made it 3, though.
I don't give a fuck. They're worse with him on the floor.
See, I will say one thing. You have to come back. We get distracted. You're talking about WrestleMania and this and CJ. Then I got distracted and mentioned
minus
the Cavs.
11
CJ
with
gets
Evan
me going.
Mobley on the floor. Minus 11, 14 and 10. I just Jared Allen 9 of 13 from the floor. Evan Mobley 6 of 11. Jared,
I'm just really happy I ate beforehand because CJ is going to keep on running his mouth, and I'm not going to add.
I'm not. You asked me about it. We don't play. Sam Merrill gets 9 minutes on the floor tonight. I just,
Okay.
What are we doing?
Well, guess what, guys? Next Tuesday when we're on again, it's time to talk Cavs and baseball. Spring training starting up soon. Football's over with. That's in the rear view.
Nice.
Things are about to get really fun and interesting because you got 2 passionate baseball fans and CJ and I. Ed, I know you're a baseball guy.
I love baseball. I love me some baseball.
Got the World's Rams starting up next week. Officially, first official practice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that? What's the squad looking like before we go? What's the squad looking like?
Looking good. Yeah. Looking good.
What are they on FanDuel? Are they
Rhodes is? I think Rhodes is trying to make their like 23rd straight Senate championship in baseball. Something fucking landish.
Okay.
They're trying to repeat though. Get back to Progressive Field.
Hey.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys played the Senate championship at Progressive.
Yeah.
That's right.
And also speaking betting odds too. Next week we'll see if they change, but Super Bowl odds for next year with the Browns being very, very low.
Yeah.
I know Casey ended up hitting on it, but let's wait for him until next week, hopefully, to hop on and we could discuss, because this isn't a 6-minute topic, I think.
No.
Was he in the Puppy Bowl, by the way, CJ?
He was MVP of it.
Most valuable pup?
No, he's afraid of the dogs. He doesn't do well around them.
Well,
went to the dog park for the first time 2 weeks ago, though.
Nice.
Did not leave our side. It was.
I'm
It
surprised.
was expected. Duke, on the other hand, he was everywhere. His stats were amazing. Like
Boots on the ground.
sniffs.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good looking dog. That's a good looking pup right
He's
there.
a good dog. He's a good boy.
Shout out to the dogs out there, too. The
All dogs.
DOGs.
Yeah.
The DOGs.
D-O-double-G.
And in CJ's case, the Bulldogs, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt, you see Matt with that whole bulldog thing. He got you. He ribbed you back. That was good.
I mean,
That was good.
they weren't bowl eligible this year. Everybody's bowl eligible. They weren't.
Oh, with the 12 game. Those Ohio State Buckeyes.
How do you feel about Chip Kelly, Ed?
What? I love it. He don't have to coach defense.
Do you feel better about Chip Kelly than
Yes, and Bill O'Brien,
I
yes.
didn't feel good
Yes,
about Bill O'Brien at all.
Yeah. No.
And if Brian Day gets fired, that's your next head coach.
That's my next head coach. There you
Isn't
go.
Chip Kelly's the coach in waiting if Day gets fired?
No, probably not. Depends how bad it got. If it got
Do you
bad.
think he could work it? I feel like Chip could work at Ohio State, though.
I think so, too. The past,
Brian
I'm
Hartline
not
would be the next
favor
coach.
of.
I feel like he won't be. He's a good recruiter, man. He's not.
Yeah, I know that's the thing. He's such a good recruter, but Ohio
He
State
was a good
recruits
coach. They
itself.
wouldn't have brought Chip Kelly in.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, CJ. Let's be real. Ohio State recruits itself. They don't need Brian Hartline. As good as he's been, I think Ohio State can get the top-notch guys being Ohio State.
And Chip's calling the plays, right? That's what was said.
Yes, and he's a QB
Is
coach.
he?
Yes.
Okay.
So things
feel
are
good
going to get
about Will
really
Howard?
interesting by the time spring comes around.
The new Oregon Ducks, but we got a defense. That's the difference.
And we don't have
I
the
don't think
Nike
that-
deal either, but the We Like Sportz Show might in a couple weeks. You never
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
we're
have
blowing
a
up.
few
We're blowing up here.
Coca-Cola, I just heard.
Yeah, might have Gatorade. Or
Guys, before we go,
Yeah.
Daytona 500 Sunday. Are you watching?
Yes,
No,
Frankie Muniz.
I'll watch the last 50 laps probably.
Frankie Muniz trying to be in the Daytona 500.
Ooh, Malcolm.
Do you think he finishes somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, that's I knew you're going with that. I knew you were going with
it's
that.
supposed to be the breaking news.
Hey, is that breakhead news material or what?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I love it.
You got to learn from the best, like I said.
Oh, jeez, the dad jokes are flying tonight.
No kids here, though.
No kids. That's why it's a good show. But well, we're getting ready to sign off here. I want to thank you guys for a great show, great prime time. We like sports when prime time, and we delivered. And I guess catch us next Tuesday at 6. And if anything changes, catch us on X and YouTube and TikTok and look at that right there and everything like that. So, hey, we like sports, but we like you. We appreciate your watching us and your participation and anything that you want to bring to the table. We'll be looking out for that. So until next week, we'll see you when we see you.
And We Like Sports PC on Twitter. Give us a follow. Don't miss out on any of the action, guys. Give us a follow. You're seeing great things.
I had to sneeze so bad right now.